Verse 51. As he was going down, his servants met him and told him that his son was recovering. So he went back on his way. The servants met him. You can understand, the boy got better. They sent word to the father, right? And he's recovering. He's recovering. Wow, he's recovering. Okay? So Jesus did the miracle. But what happened first? He believed Jesus' word. Verse 52. So he asked him the hour when he began to get better, and they said to him, yesterday at the 7th hour, the fever left him. So these guys came up to meet the Father. The Father was going the day before at the 7th hour, not that day, the 7th hour, the day before. So at least one day, we didn't exactly know what time this guy left, right? It asked Jesus, okay? So it was quite a travel distance, and all this time, just imagine your father. He just asked Jesus, but he believed, so he went back. Okay, but he made sure, actually not for his sake, for our sake, right? For our sake, and actually no, not for our sake. Firstly, for the sake of the ones reading the original, to whom John wrote this, right? To the leaders of the day, that they will know. But this was not by mistake. This happened exactly. And how long it took? It took a day for this. So again, imagine the father walking back. Yes, his son is dying. Will he even see his son? When he left his son there, it was taking him a day to travel to Jesus. Will he even be alive when he gets back? His son is at death's door. Isn't this now the last time he's seeing his son? Wouldn't it be better just to stay at home and hold his son's hand when he breathed his last breath? Wouldn't that have been better? But he went. And then coming there, asking Jesus, wouldn't it be better to pull Jesus back with him? He believed and he went. Just imagine what that father must have been experiencing the whole time. And now the servants. So the servants took time to move as well. These guys. So it was quite a while for them. And it happened. Okay, at that time. Right, and yeah. Right, so when he asked, that is when his son started getting better. Verse 53, the father knew that was the hour when Jesus said to him, your son will live. And he himself believed, and all his household. Okay, so again, no, the father knew. He asked, so it is not faith based upon nothing. He asked Jesus, Jesus told him about the sign, and he shall ask, come back. And Jesus said, go back and your son will live. And he believed. And now, because of that was said, now he asked, so he has his proof. He has his proof because he asked these people when that happened. He know it, when he asked Jesus, he know when this happened. So this faith is not built on, if I jump over here, right, I'm going to break my legs when I land down there. Okay? This is air. It's not going to hurt me. That's not faith. Faith is, for me, walking back down the stairs there and not break my legs. That is faith. It's not nonsense. It's not based upon thin air, right? Me jumping off. It is me seeing the staircase, knowing I can take the stairs. This is what he asked. They told him. He knew. Okay, so he knew. That is what faith is, knowledge. Okay, it's not nothing. It's knowledge. So when a Christian, when you believe in God, it's not because you believe in fairy tales, right? Not believing in God is believing in fairy tales. Not believing in God saying that this grass doesn't exist or this grass created itself. That is a fairy tale. Sorry, atheists, but that's nonsense. And you know it yourself. Okay, poof, and there's a little bit of grass. Put in a few billion years in there and a few lazy atoms and you have grass, right? Stop being a fool. Celebrate April Fool's Day. Yes, it's your day. Enjoy it. But you go to hell. Sorry, atheists, if I'm angry with you or whatever, but I love you. I want you to see the stupidity of your belief. Your belief is not based upon science. Your belief is based upon a want to not believe. Sin is clouding your brain. You are a blind fool. So this father's belief was ultimately, he asked, he knew. So again, for those to whom he wrote, knowing by believing. Right? That is the one who's blessed. That is the one who's blessed. and all the household as well. Now that's especially in Acts, it's a very like a repetitive refrain. All the household, the one believed, and all the household with him. The one believed, and all the household with him. And remember, please, we'll still get to it. The household meant more than just a father, mother, and one child. Okay, this is not not a Korean family. This is not a Japanese family or Chinese family, or even a modern, mostly American family, right? This is a family where there's a father, a mother, there's grandparents involved, there's grandchildren involved, there are slaves involved, servants, right, to call it their family. It's a big thing. Family is big, okay? That's all the family involved. So if you're from that kind of a culture, you'll understand it. People from that kind of, like, say, a Georgian culture or I mean, even a Myanmar culture or whatever, different cultures in Myanmar, not all of them will understand it. The Chinese, even supposed to be a social culture, they won't understand it even anymore because there's one child, little God kind of idea. Okay, but you from a social, the Arabs, the Muslims, they will understand it, man. They have big families. They will understand the concept of family, what a whole household means. Okay, so if you want to understand this, you need to ask them. Stop thinking Western terms, or even other Asian terms these days. The importance of the whole household. Not only he believed, but the whole household believed. Why? Because the father believed. Not because he saw a sign, because he believed in the word. He believed in Jesus. That's the point. So because they believed in Jesus, believed in Jesus, they believed. Like the Samaritan woman believed the word, so the people in the village believed. Because of her believing the word. Not seeing a sign, not him seeing a sign before he believed. The sign came, but first the word. Important lesson. Verse 54. This was the second sign that Jesus did when he had come from Judea to Galilee. Okay, so this is now the second sign that Jesus did here it's kind of interesting. It's the second sign he did when he came from Judea to Galilee. The previous sign he actually did in Galilee. So we don't exactly know what is then the other sign that he did there. So because if it was speaking about the Cana, in the beginning it speaks of Cana in Galilee, right? So you would kind of understand that ought to be. But this is now when Jesus, now except if they meant that this is when he came before, but I think although they did mention, but the fact that they mentioned the sign of Cana in Galilee there was more to do with the fact of because this is why the Father ultimately came with this, and not because of this year. Okay, this year it stays clear. This is the second sign he did when he came from Judea to Galilee. So what is the other sign that he did? Now we know that Jesus did lots of other signs, right? We know that he did lots of other signs, but ultimately the point is that. He did other signs. I mean, he did other signs. And John, I think here is most likely pointing out that he's not going to mention all the signs that Jesus did. Okay? He is nitpicking. He is choosing certain signs so as to bring something out. Why this sign? Why the sign of the Father? It's a Gentile most likely believing the word. Like the Samaritan woman believing the word. The Gentile believing the word. Okay? Like in the first sign, Mary said, what he tells you, do. Did they see water turn? Did they ever see water turn into wine? No, they haven't. Mary said, believe his word. They believed his word. So he saw the sign because they believed his word. The Samaritan woman saw the sign, heard the word. She heard the word, she told, they believed. This man didn't see the sign, he heard the word, he believed. That is why John is taking certain signs, because he's building up to this whole idea that it's not by seeing that's believing, but it's by hearing that is believing. Okay? We don't have Jesus walking the streets here today healing people, unlike what other people try to imply. We don't have him. We have his word. That is what you're supposed to take to the world, his word. Believe in the word, because Jesus is the word. So believe in him. Not in what he can give you, not in what he's saying, what he does for you, but in what he is teaching you, what he is telling, who he is.